Hola Matchers, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a una nueva entrevista. Estoy muy emocionado. Soy Emilio Quiroz y estoy completamente emocionado porque el día de hoy tenemos a un gran invitado, el mismísimo, el único, el grande e inigualable, el gran BOOTIE BROWN, que nos va a acompañar el día de hoy para platicar sobre su carrera, sobre alguno de sus proyectos. Entonces estoy muy emocionado. Bienvenido, BOOTIE. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for having us and spending your time with us.
My pleasure.
Buddy, I was listening to Motherland, and I'm really in love with this song. Can you talk a little about the creative process of this song?
We was fortunate enough to be invited to Bydora. So that's basically the name of the African Express album as well. Shout out to my family. And we were just out in nature, and it was just like incredible there, and just, it's like a little oasis in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a song that was basically what I felt was expressive of just all the, just all the individuals, unique individuals that was there. And it just popped in my head, and I was just like, oh man, like I just had this melody that was in my head. And fortunate enough, Tom was right there beside me, and I was like, yeah, I was just humming this track. And then he was like, oh man, let's just start. And then, like, from right there, from concept of just thinking about it, we just actually just started and just kind of created on the way. And then saw Manifest, who's also been out here, who's the MC on there, and just started making it happen. And then it just came out the way that it is. So I can't say anything other than the location kind of made it happen.
I watched the video, and at the beginning it says like Las Estacas, Mexico. That's the place where you record the song, or just the video.
No, actually, that the video is actually the way that the whole song came
Okay.
together. So it's really just we were just out sitting on the table. So I mean, of course, like we fixed it up in the studio later down the line just to
Yeah.
make it right. But yeah, the song was created right there where your people see it. It's not
Yeah.
act it's no afterthought of like we're trying to make it look like something. No, that's actually how the song was done.
That's cool. That's cool. What was the atmosphere and creative process like recording in Mexico? And how much does the country, in this case, of course, Mexico, influence the final result?
I think it had a lot to do with it. I mean, I was fortunate enough to work with Damon with Gorillas, and I recorded in Monterey before in the studio. So that's like basically when I did New Gold. It's just, and so I just feel like from there, I just been able to just kind of like get this. I don't know, something about Mexico that just make it work. And so yeah, and the atmosphere, like I said, the atmosphere where we was at, and just all the musicians, and just the scenery. And I mean, if you hear real good and recorded, you can hear the birds, what I'm saying, you can hear
Okay, okay.
actual things that's going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that the people here also is just, like the humbleness, and people just showing genuine love just makes everything,
Yeah.
that much better. So I want to thank the people of Mexico, thank Mexico country, and just everything for, you know, adding the vibe, providing the vibe, the space.
Really important, the atmosphere. I think so. I think so. And how do you manage to leave your ego behind this kind of collaboration? Because I believe like a lot of artists and a lot of ideas and a lot of creative minds should probably like collide. I don't know how to say it, but
I know
it
what you're saying. I think that basically everybody, when you're amongst talent that is like equal to yours,
yeah.
it's like you can have that ego, but I don't. I think more of us believe that it's just an honor to just be able to work with other people, because it's not necessarily you. It's, I guess it's not necessarily like if it was two pop stars
Yeah.
together. Like you just have like different stars in their own genre of music that's getting together. And I think because you're just because of that introduction, it just gives you an opportunity, a chance to just cross some lines that you probably haven't crossed in your own personal genre. So me as a hip hop person
Yeah.
working with, you know, Damon, who's actually like on a pop level, or
Yeah.
working with Nick, who's like, from Yeah Yeah Yes, who's like,
Yeah.
a rock. So it's just a combination of different genres that you're able and you're lucky to, or blessed, I should say, to work with.
Now you were talking about your hip hop. How much has your style changed since you started with the Far Side, and how would you define it now? It's different.
Yeah, I think when I first started off, I always tell people it's about rocking your block, which is basically you wanted your friends around you, like that's your whole world to you, is impressing the people around you. And like I said, your genre of music. I feel like just with age and everything that's going on with me right now, I just feel like I try to be more worldly. Like I want to have a world approach to music that, if I go to this country, I go to that country, like, or I go to whatever club, like I got something that basically can fit and people can enjoy as far as being around a well-rounded musician.
That's great. I believe that in such days we're living, like the globalization, it's part of of every day. And when I realized you were releasing this song, Motherland, and I started researching about the project Africa Express, I deeply felt in love because I believe it's like not just great music, but also like a statement, a philosophical and maybe political statement. Do you believe that?
I basically, my thought was, I mean, everybody says Africa, calls Africa motherland, but I mean, my thought was not necessarily just based into Africa. I feel like everybody has their own motherland,
Yeah.
and I just felt that, you know, basically the lyrics are kind of, I felt like, how can I say, like our forefathers sometimes are not the
Yeah.
best judges of where we need to be. And like sometimes we need our mothers to just be highlighted, because that's who kind of like takes the blunt of it. So um I felt that I wanted to cross, whether if you was in Mexico and you felt like you wanted to sing the song, whether you was in China, you felt like you wanted to, like wherever your motherland is, this is kind of a song that's kind of dedicated to your personal feelings.
If I believe that this is like the spirit of Africa Express, like no boundaries, or the real language is the music, and you can connect with a lot of different styles, rhythms, and I also love that lyric, "Who let mother's land in the father's hands." It's like that touched me. That touched me.
Yeah, that's what I felt like I said, ongoing with Africa Express. It's more or less, how can I say, like it's just so many boundaries crossed in a cultural sense, and also in a gender sense, like, because there's a lot going on with the group. So I feel like I just wanted to match something that I felt the spirit of all the cultures, of the combining. And like you said, I feel like the world does need to kind of see this, because there's a lot of division everywhere. I feel like, a lot of people have their guards up, especially, where I'm from in the States and Los Angeles. They're seeing what's going on. And, it's not about necessarily like you want to fight for each other, but it's more or less saying like, look, we are with each other, we are one. So like if you kind of just have that in your mind, it's not like, well, I'm fighting for my brother. Like it's like, no, I'm fighting for myself because they're part of me. And that's how I look at things.
I love that idea. Yeah, I think we have to fight for ourselves and for what we think is right.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Do you think now, changing a little the subject, do you think the essence of hip hop has transformed, or has it simply changed its form?
I think all music has changed, you know. I think all I mean, but I mean that happens when something can make so much money, you know,
Yeah.
anything that can make billions of dollars, like there's always going to be people that's going to lead it the wrong way. But you know, in that sense, there still is some good music out there. There still is good hip hop out there. I think
Yeah.
you just have to find it, you know. Unfortunately, not, you know, back home, I can't say the radio is necessarily the best place to find, you
Yeah.
know, the kind of hip hop that you want to listen to. Um, but you know, I think that's what with all music. I think a lot of music has been touched in the wrong way. But there's solid artists out there, and there's people out there that still just like want to bring you some truth and something that kind of uplift your day. So I
Yeah.
think you just got to look for it.
Besides Motherland, do you have any recommendation, any hip hop recommendation?
Oh wow, that's a
It's always
that's
interesting
a
to
that's
listen
a
to musicians talk about other musicians, right?
That's yeah, that's a hard one because you know myself, I may listen to stuff that may not be so politically correct.
No, there's no problem. We're free.
But you know, I would say like I love what Kendrick's doing. You know,
Hey, yeah.
I think Kendrick's is a in you know, not just his last project, but if you listen to him as a performer all the way around, I think what he's doing has been great,
Great. Yeah.
representing our city like to the fullest. So
Yeah.
big fan of his work, and you know, there's a lot of people. You have, you know, Black Star, most. I mean, Yassine Bey and Talib. So I mean, it's you just like I said, you just gotta look for it's a lot of stuff out there to get, but it's also a lot of stuff to lead you the wrong way, you know. But
Yeah.
when you in the party, when you're in the club, you know that it's different
Right.
when what you want to hear in the club and see
Yeah.
girls dancing to what you want to hear when you feel like, okay, I need to make my day right. I need to have something
That's
right.
right. That's right. That's right. I will have to. I would recommend Motherland, of course. And talking a little more about this project, the Africa Express brings together artists from different cultures and styles. What did you discover musically about your own culture while working with them?
Oh wow. So I've been working with Damon since Gorillas,
Yeah.
so 2008, 5, 8, I think.
Probably.
So
Probably.
yeah, it's been a while. So
Yeah.
I just been able to, and I think my biggest thing with Damon is just seeing his work ethic, and like he's just nonstop. And so like I just try to put a battery in my back and just try to just, you know, match that energy and just kind of just work nonstop. But with Africa Express, I think like being where we was in Bayadora, just kind of like outside, it just let me know like, hey, you don't have to be in the fancy studio. You don't have to have all the fancy tools. Sometimes just the the concept to, you know, the concept and creation of it is just everything, you know. And so like,
Essence of music, right?
yeah, and so I was able to just everything was very minimalized, and
Yeah.
I was able to just focus on that. And so it just it gave me that thought of like, you know what, sometimes you don't need the fanciest things to make good songs, you know what I'm saying? Good songs sometimes are just there. And if you just kind of open your mind and just kind of let it come in, it's there. It just seeps its way in.
Nowadays, that should be the philosophy, I believe, because technology and the access to technology should permit everyone uh, like express creatively through technology. Because I mean, like in the 90s, it was much more difficult for you you know, to produce a song than today.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was, I was just telling somebody the other day, it was just very expensive when you want to go to a studio, you know,
Yeah.
like it was like the cost of it. And, you know, to actually like put something out, you had to go through a label. Like it was just a
Yeah.
lot it was a lot of stuff that was going on. But now just, you know, with streaming music and everything, like you can be in your bedroom and make songs and put a song out every minute if you want to, you know, like
It's
so
incredible.
yeah, so it it evens the playing field. A lot of people don't like it because they're like, well, man, you know, it just like anybody can make music these days. And of course, like with the technology, there's just a mass amount of music, you know, that you kind of have to just go through. But you know, if you make something and it's true, it's honest, I mean, how many there's what 8 billion people, 10 billion people in the world, you know what I'm saying? And your song is going to reach somebody, you know, somebody's going to feel the way that you felt and actually probably need that message that you're going to have in your song, like to get through their day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, you were talking about technology. What do you think about artificial intelligence in music? And what's your posture?
Do I like it? I don't know if I don't, you know, I mean, it's here. I think whether we like it or not, like it's here. It's something we're gonna have to adapt to.
Yeah.
Hopefully it just doesn't go too far, but I feel like it is gonna go too far. I mean, there's already artists, AI artists that's being signed that has music out. And I've heard some incredible I heard 50 Cent's Mini Man turn into like a blues singer.
Yeah.
So it's it's something that, you know, it's scary. I can't say that
Yeah.
it's not, because there is, I mean, somebody may say, oh, you know, it's crap. We don't really like it, but I've heard some incredible like, wow, that did that. So it's just here. And I think like we're as artists, we're just gonna have to adapt to it. I think it's the same as when video, you know, probably
Yeah.
came to music, you know, like the regular radio person was like, oh my God, now I gotta make videos, you know. Like, there's always something new, you know, there's always something new we gotta adapt to. So it's just here and we gotta deal with it.
It reminds me to when the first camera started working out, and every artist, every painter was worried, because my work is gonna end. And then they adapt and they found like new boundaries on the painting, and that's cool. I think it's like a really cool thing for the creative minds.
Yeah, you have to, you know, it's ongoing. Like nothing, this world keeps spinning even when you're sleeping. So, you know, like you have to constantly kind of adapt to whatever's out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, finally, what does the title Motherland represents for you? Does it have a personal or a symbolic meaning?
Um, yeah, just, you know, like for me, I think that I just wanted to highlight that um sometimes the people that are in power, uh and they consider themselves the forefathers, and they'll just, you know, say a lot of stuff and just put themselves on a pedestal,
Yeah,
um, are not necessarily the right people we kind of just need to listen to, you know.
yeah,
And unfortunately they just have that power. So yeah, I just wanted the people to recognize, like, you know, sometimes it's not the right thing. And that's why I say, you know, growing flowers out the sand, which is basically representing the kids and how we're having to raise these, you know, the new generation, and how they're like what they're having to go through to, and what they're looking at, you know, what to actually become the new adults of this world. And it's, you know, it's just tricky. It's very unfortunate. I mean, at one point, but hopefully we can gather ourselves together and realize that, you know, there is some wrongs, and hopefully we can fix it. You know, hopefully we can fix it.
I think if there's any chance of fixing this, it would be through art. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your music. And one last question: how did you played yesterday in Mexico? Blackberry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
How was
incredible. It was incredible. And
it?
Serpentino was so like the history. I felt the history just being on that stage, and in the whole neighborhood or the city. You know, it was just a lot. And then came to Mexico City, and it was just like, oh man, just like it's just ongoing. And I can't say enough. You know, I really appreciate the people of Mexico City, people of Mexico, just all the way around for like just being humble and welcoming. You know, like during these times, like there could be an outburst of like, hey, go home, we don't want you here. None of that. It was none of that, you know, like it was open arms. And I want to thank everybody.
No, I'm gonna speak on behalf most of the people that went yesterday to the concert, but thank you because I really believe that art it's like the most vital energy that we should keep on hanging on, you know. But thank you very much, Booty. Thank you for your time. Anything you would
Thank
like
you.
to say to our audience?
Hopefully I'll we'll be back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll be back, and thank you very much for, like I said, for having open arms and welcome us to the city. And you know, I hope you enjoy the song. You know, I made it here. I made it for, you know, please don't think that it was just for uh the people of Africa or the people of US. Like this song is for the world. Mm.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Booty. Muchísimas gracias, Matchers, que se conectaron. Estuvo increíble esta entrevista, nos pasamos un buen rato. Y sigan conectando con nosotros porque vamos a tener todavía más pláticas con artistas muy chidos, de verdad. Gracias, Booty. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.